Hey guys, I'm Neil. Welcome back to a brand new video. Now today, every year at some point in the Premier League season, we like to do a video where we go through every club and we pick the most underrated player for them. It could be performing this season, in recent games, or whatever. Just one player, every single team. We're going to start with Arsenal, but before we do, we're going to start with the like target.
Oh my goodness, let's have 8,000 likes.
Let's do it. 8,000, it would be amazing. We'll do maybe a part 2 for overrated players if we hit 8,000 likes. And subscribe too, that'll be absolutely amazing. We're trying to get 432,000 subs. Let's do it today. You could be the difference. Let's start with Arsenal, shall we?
Let's do that. And loads of Arsenal fans have said to me, Thogdan, nobody, choose nobody, we're rubbish.
That's true. I saw a lot of that on Twitter too. But we are going to pick somebody.
Yeah.
And I think it's part of their decline. Ever since he hasn't been playing, he's not been as good. And that's David Luiz.
You got mad?
What do you mean?
David Luiz?
Yeah, David Luiz. He's underrated, Dad. And this reaction is perfect because not many people understand how good this guy was before he had the head collision, which was really sad with Raul Jimenez. I hope both of them recover really quickly. But since he's gone out of the team, they've lacked so much creativity. David Luiz from centre-back is one of their most creative players.
Ooh.
He pings the ball over to Aubameyang, the other winger runners and stuff like that. They miss him. They miss that little bit of creativity from deep. And on top of that, he was always a consistent 7 or 8 out of 10 performer. He'll get stuck in. People just like to zoom in on the little mistakes that they make. What do you think, Dad?
Well, you know what, to be quite honest, he's got good heart as David Luiz.
Yeah, he does, yeah.
And another player who gives 100% in my mind is Dani Ceballos,
Ooh.
the Spanish international. Now, he's got a good ping on him. He's got a very good pass.
He's not great, though.
And I'll tell you what, he's consistent there. Now,
Right.
he's only started 6 Premier League games this season.
Yeah.
But in the Premier League and in Europe, he's been a decent player in a very, very poor team. Aston Villa now, and I've gone for a young right-back who's new to the Premier League, but is going to be a very good player in time. Matty Cash.
Yeah.
What do you think of that, Theo?
I think it's a good decision. I would have gone with Matty Cash, but I went with somebody else. I went with a centre-back called Ezri Konsa. A lot of the attention goes separately across the board when we talk about Aston Villa. You know, people talk about Grealish and the other attacking players like Ross Barkley, who are part of the attacking set, but Ezri Konsa in defence has been really good for them. He's scored a couple of goals already this season in like 10 games, and defensively, he's really good. He's only 22, he's going to keep improving. He's my most underrated baller for me.
He is a good player. Matty Cash has got a mistake in him, but he loves to push up the field. He's good at passing. He's a decent tackler, and he's going to become a really good player.
Decent.
Brighton and Hove Albion now, and I found this one very, very easy. Pascal Gross.
I agree.
He's only started 5 times this season. 2 goals, 2 assists. He's a wonderful playmaker, isn't he, Theo?
Well, exactly, Dad. 4 contributions in 5 games. Ever since this guy has started to be given a chance from Graham Potter, and we're doing a video on underrated footballers, right?
Yeah.
This guy started off the season not being in the team.
Yeah.
He made his way into the team. He's now got 4 contributions in 5 games, and he's been vital in getting some big draws and wins for Brighton, which by the end of the season will be important for their survival. Underrated for me.
Absolutely. He is creative. He is consistent. He takes penalties and free kicks.
And he doesn't miss them. Malpai needs to learn something about that.
That is true, and he always gives 100%, and I've liked this guy for 3 years, and I've no idea why he doesn't start every single game.
Yeah, Brighton fans, let us know if you agree. I think Basuma's a good shout too, but we went with Gross. Tell us in the comments.
Burnley now, and I've gone with Ashley Westwood,
Okay.
who this season he's played 10 games, 1 assist, 1 goal, but I think his striking partners are letting him down a bit, because he creates a lot of chances there.
Well, Dad, in general, Burnley aren't scoring much this season, and to be honest, this is one of the toughest ones of the clubs, I think, because Pope and Tarkowski are rated. They're not underrated because they're rated already by clubs and fans from all around the Premier League. So I reckon I'd have to go with Dwight McNeil. He's a younger sort of player. Some people rate him, but he goes under the radar a little bit. And Dwight McNeil, he's 21 years old. He's a good player. He's a winger that has a 66% dribble success rate. He has about 2 to 3 take-ons a game. Burnley don't attack as much as other teams. It's a fact. He doesn't get to see as much of the ball. But when he's on it, he can make things happen. So I like him.
And I agree with that, Theo. And these are 2 players who need to perform if Burnley are going to survive.
Exactly.
Chelsea now, and this was so easy. And if you don't agree, I'm walking out. Olivier Giroud, take a bow. The centre-forward who's sitting on the bench, but when he comes on, he just scores goals.
No, you're spot on, Thog Dad. I agree with you. Olivier Giroud, criminally underrated. A bagsman for Chelsea. He's a rotated player. Another guy that doesn't get first team shout. He started off the season, he's been benched for Tammy and Werner most of the year. But he comes in after scoring 4 in the Champions League game versus Sevilla.
Yeah.
He gets to the Premier League start and he scores in that game too. He's a bagsman, mate. If he's in the right place at the right time, the ball comes to him in the box, he's scoring it. You can put your money on it. He's that good. He's 34 and he's still benching Benzema, Martial, Lacazette, all these French strikers that are watching it from their own TVs in their backyard because Olivier Giroud is starting in all the games. Deschamps loves him. Lampard loves him. He's a really good striker.
Brilliant, Theo. Now he's got a thogden bullet header on him, but he's not only a bagsman, he's also brilliant at holding up the play. Waiting for players to arrive around him. What a player.
And he might leave in January if Chelsea don't start him more, but you've got to keep him, Chelsea, surely.
Crystal Palace now, and I've gone for a Dutch left-back called Patrick van Aanholt. And it's very simple, because Crystal Palace just look better when he's on the pitch, Theo.
Really?
Yeah.
Ever since he's come in for Mitchell, you think they've been better?
I do. I mean, he loves to bomb up the pitch. He's a really good defender and very attack-minded. Just wonderful player.
I agree, but I also disagree, because I've also gone for a Dutchman, but someone who's a lot more under the radar, and that is Gyro Riederwald. Now, I don't know if I pronounced his name right or whatever, but I used to play with this guy in Football Manager 2018, loaned him in at Bolton, he turned out a baller, and Football Manager got it right. They predicted the future. This guy has finally got a shout. Now, he's always been around the Palace team for the last few years, but he never got a first team shout from Roy Hodgson. He's finally got that, and he's one of the most comfortable, good on the ball, central midfielders that they've ever had, right? And that's something that Roy Hodgson noticed, and now he's getting regular Premier League starts. Another player who wasn't starting at the start of the season. Watch out for him. He signed from Ajax a few years back for 9 million, and he's finally in the first team, and I think he's a really good, underrated player, so watch out for him.
And he was my second place. Came from the Ajax Youth Academy, and Crystal Palace fans are raving about him.
Yeah, he even got a goal in a Fulham 2-1 win. More to come from him. There we go.
Everton now, and I've gone for a centre-back called Mason Holgate. Not Michael Keane, because he gets lots of attention.
Does he? Does he?
Yes,
though?
he does.
Does he though?
You've gone for him, haven't you?
I've gone with Michael Keane.
Yeah, okay.
And the first sentence I put down here, many have written off this guy, but he's actually a decent centre-half.
Yeah.
It's true. And I know you've gone with Mason Holgate because you know I would go with Michael Keane. But, no, Mason Holgate, actually, he's the one who gets the credit. He gets a lot of credit. In my opinion, I think more than Michael Keane. But Michael Keane is the one who's, I think, a little bit better. A big threat from corners and set pieces, and he always puts in a 7 out of 10. But what would you say about Holgate?
Well, Mason Holgate has only played twice this season, and I think that's a real shame. But I like that partnership.
Yeah. And they both deserve more respect.
Fulham now, and it has to be the left-back from the United States of America, used to play for Bolton Wanderers, Anthony Robinson.
He would have been my second choice, Dad. Okay. He's actually been really good this year. The thing that held it back from him, 0 goal contribution so far this year.
That is true.
If he had a few stats in there, I would have been like, yeah, Anthony Robinson, ex-Bolton. But then he went to Wigan, so he's not in mine, mate.
I know, but the thing is, he gets into dangerous positions. He loves to bomb up that wing, and he's been let down a bit by his teammates.
Yeah, fair play. Now, we watched the Fulham-Leicester game, and this is when I learned my pick for the most underrated player. I didn't know much about this guy, to be honest. I don't know if you guys did it either, but a central midfielder called Anguissa.
Yeah.
We saw him get an unbelievable assist to get the winning goal in a 2-1 win over Leicester away. Right. And that's when Fulham were, like, no one expected them to win that game. He was a big part of the assist. He's got 2 assists this season in 10 games. He's an absolute powerhouse through the midfield. Complete tank. Good on the ball too, though, and good at creating and playmaking. 2 assists speak for itself. And that is big for Fulham. It's exactly what they need this season. Scott Parker will, I'm sure, give this continued regular game time. Anguissa, watch out for him.
Remember the name.
You like him too. I remember we were talking about
actually,
him.
yeah.
He's a decent player.
He is. I've not seen enough of him, but I respect your decision.
Yeah.
Leeds United now, and it has to be a right-back called Luke Ayling, who started every game. He's absolutely always on the team sheet, very consistent. 3 assists as well.
Yeah, I would say he's a decent player, but it's not my pick.
Oh.
I've gone with the guy you love. The man you always joke about in our streams. If you don't watch our streams, you're a mug. Stuart does Dallas.
Yeah,
I made a joke. I made a joke because I couldn't say it without making the joke.
Yeah.
Of course I've gone with him. And the reason is, this guy's been with them since 2015, and he can practically play in every single position across the board. You know, he's put in so many shifts at fullback, winger, centre mid, everywhere.
Yeah.
And I just had to go with him. Very versatile, and he's been decent this season.
Yeah, and I agree with you, and I nearly chose him because I wanted to do the joke.
But I made the joke for you, so it turned out okay in the end. Right, before we go into the next one, follow my Instagram at Thogden and Thogdad, because we need him to 100k. If you don't help him get there, you're a mug. and you're not TDL.
Leicester now, and I'm looking to the central midfield, and it has to be the Nigerian, who is criminally underrated, Wilfred Ndidi.
Really?
Absolutely.
So why have you gone with Ndidi, Dad?
I just think he's brilliant at that so-called water carrier role.
Yeah.
You know, blocking, interceptions,
Yeah.
passing. He does the simple things very well, but week in, week out.
He's only just come back from injury. He hasn't played this season.
True, he hasn't played much, but I'm going on past seasons as well.
Fair play, fair play. Well, I've gone with a man, interestingly, as you're speaking about Ndidi, the man that's replaced him. Because he's been injured, there's been one man who's had to take the role of Ndidi.
Yes.
And that Ndidi role is pretty serious for Leicester, because last time, when he got injured and he was at the team, they looked absolutely rubbish. They completely crumbled without him, because he's such an important player. But actually, Mendy came in and put in an absolute shift this season.
True.
Everybody thought that the results would drop off. But thanks to Mendy putting in an absolute shift in that role, they haven't. They're fourth, they're only a few points off top. And that is mainly because Mendy's done so well. He's underrated, people don't give him enough respect. And yeah, that's my choice.
That is a very good choice, Theo, and I completely agree with everything you've just said. Liverpool now, he's 19 years old, he's been thrown into the side and he's been brilliant. Curtis Jones.
Wow.
Full stop.
You think he's underrated?
Underrated, yes. I mean, this is a tough one because no one had really heard of him last season if you're outside of Liverpool.
Yeah.
And like I said, this season, the toughest stages in the world, PL, Champions League, he's gone on there and he's performed to the highest level.
Fair play. I've gone with someone else, but I can see where you're coming from because we watch a lot of Liverpool and he always puts in a lot of a proper shift.
Yes.
Another man that puts in a proper shift in their midfield is Gini Wijnaldum.
Yeah.
Now, some people rate him, but on a certain level. The level he's playing at recently is a level above that, and that's why I say he's underrated. Gini Wijnaldum scored an absolutely brilliant goal in a 4-0 win over Wolves. He runs all around the midfield, never stops running for Klopp. And recently, he's just been brilliant. He also represents the Dutch boys, the Netherlands, and he actually plays a more advanced role there and gets loads of goals and assists. I just think in general, he's a really underrated player. So, Gini for me.
Yeah, I'd love to disagree, but that is a very good choice there.
Tell us in the comments, who's yours?
Manchester City now, and I've gone for a fella who's got 4 goals this season and an assist. He doesn't always start, but he should, and for that reason, Riyad Mahrez is my pick. Now, I know what you're going to say, that he's not underrated, but I think he should be starting every week. He was absolutely sensational at Leicester.
Pep. It's what he does.
Yeah.
Pep's got inside more wingers, so he has to rotate to keep everyone happy, doesn't he?
Yes.
It's a difficult position to be in.
Yeah.
You could play Riyad Mahrez more. He's definitely a regular Premier League starter for his level of quality. But like I said, I disagree. I don't think he's underrated. He might be.
Yeah.
He might be a bit. The one that I've gone for, and he doesn't always get start in the Premier League, Gundogan.
Yeah.
Every time he plays, he puts in a shift. 2 goals in the Champions League out of 4 starts. Good at set pieces. Always puts in a proper role in that central midfield. Loves a big game, and they'll need him in 3 days in their Manchester derby. And I think he's a little bit of an underrated player for me. Yeah. Does well for Germany too, still represents them.
That is a fair enough, and a lot of City fans agree with you entirely there.
Okay, cool.
Manchester United now. Now, first of all, I want you to forget last night's game against PSG before I say the word Fred.
McSauce. What?
Fred.
McSauce.
Look, when Fred is in the side,
who's
United look must.
Who's the Lancastrian? McSauce.
So have you gone for McSauce?
No, I've gone with Fred. I've got to agree with you. Like, Fred's a really good player. He's not, at first everyone wrote him off as a flop and he wasn't worth the 50 million. But actually this season he's been really important in their midfield.
Yeah.
And that's something I think both you and me have picked up on watching Man United week in, week out.
Yes, now they might have overpaid for him.
Back
you
in
know
the day.
what? Yeah, but this fella, he's got a good ping on him.
Yeah.
He's good at the sort of the tackling, the interceptions, the short balls. He works very hard. He's a very consistent player.
And that's why I agree with you.
Newcastle now.
Green Army. Sorry.
What the hell was that? Green Army?
TikTok.
Okay, I'll start again. Newcastle now, and the name that I'm about to say is not only the most underrated player at Newcastle, he's also the most underrated player in the whole league.
Some of you will get that. Keep that in.
Jonjo Shelvey.
Jonjo Shelvey, yeah?
Yes.
I've gone with Carl Darlow.
Oh, come on. Before you talk about him.
No, I know Newcastle fans rate him, but overall in the Premier League, more football fans in general need to rate this guy. He started off the season as a backup, playing games in the fraudulent Checkatrade Trophy. Like, no one gives a crap about it, you know what I mean? Going away to Scunthorpe under 21. He's now a Premier League starter, one of the best goal percentages in the league, loves a big game. When he plays against a big club, he pulls off some wonder saves. He's a shot stopper. It's Carl Darlow.
Oh, now that is a good shout, but not as good as Jonjo Shelvey, who is a brilliant playmaker.
We all know Jonjo's got it.
He's consistent. He's got the most amazing ping, the long long ball in the league.
Yeah.
He takes free kicks. He's got a wonderful mind for football.
Yeah.
John Joe Shelby, the most underrated player in the Premier League.
Wow. What?
In the whole league.
In the Premier League?
Yes.
You're insane. You're mental. You're a geezer. You're nutty. Right, on to the next one.
Sheffield United now, and this was very easy. Jack O'Connell,
but he's injured.
Back because
he's injured.
He's played 2 games this season,
and then he got injured.
And since he's been injured, Sheffield United have fallen apart.
Yeah, but he's rated. He's rated.
Is he?
Yeah, because every Sheffield United fan is saying we need this guy back.
Yeah, but most football fans, if you support Leicester or Liverpool or Man United, you don't know their name.
I'm just saying, if you know him, you rate him. And I've got to be honest, Dad, I know he's a good player, but I've gone with someone more interesting. Keane Bryan, the centre-back they brought in for 2 recent games. Now, the funny thing about this guy is, last year he was on loan at Bolton Wanderers, our club, in League One. Okay. That's the 3rd tier of English football. He was actually a very consistent ball-playing centre-back for us. Yeah. And I thought the guy had potential because he's still quite young, right? He's come in the last 2 games for Sheffield United and he's actually been really good.
Fair enough, but you just wanted to talk about a former Bolton
No, he's
player.
underrated. That's a fact. He's
underrated. Is underrated, and without him, Sheffield United have fallen apart.
Shut up. Police cars everywhere, bloody hell, London. It's London! It's London, innit? This is London! Neil Warnock, what a geese. Right, on to the next one.
Southampton now, and it has to be
Yannick
Vestergaard. We agree, don't we, Theo?
Yeah, we do, because you could have gone with Ward-Prowse, Danny Ings, but they're rated.
Yeah.
And they're English, so they're even more rated because more people watch them. Yannick Vestergaard is been playing really well.
Yeah.
He's 207 metres tall. We could have chose boxing, bloody basketball. He went for football. He's a beast at the back. And this year under Hasenhüttl, nobody likes coming up against him. No. He's seriously underrated.
He's great in the air. He's great with the ball at his feet. And he likes to get forward and create an assist or 2 amazingly. So, what a player.
Exactly. 3 goals in 9 starts. Loves a big thogden bullet header. Pops up when need be. Some big wins. Vestergaard's the man.
Tottenham Hotspur now, and it has to be Højbjerg. And if I'd not gone for him, I would have gone for Sissoko, because I think those two are
the engine
the main one of the team.
You're missing Eric the God Dyer.
Okay.
Because at centre-back, he's been converted.
Yeah.
Everybody thought this guy, not many people rate this guy, right? And when he was playing holding mid, everyone was like, oh mate, sack him off to a relegation side. Let's let him go to Burnley. You even said that. You said let him go to Burnley. And he is now a regular Premier League starting centre-back for top of the league.
Yeah.
And one of the best squads in the league as well. And this guy's kept his place. When there are other shouts like Davinson Sanchez and, what's his name, Oderveld, like they could go with them too. But he's kept his place. He's great in the air. He puts in a shift. Eric Dyer is underrated.
Now, I think Højbjerg has been the buy of the season, and Tottenham could easily have spent twice the money on an equal player.
But he's probably a bit more rated than Dyer.
Ooh, big shout.
But he's been really good, that's true.
West Bromwich Albion now, and I've gone for the left-back Connor Townsend.
You have?
Because I think that West Brom are a much better team when he's around. I think he's very consistent. I know he had a shocker against Chelsea that time, but apart from that, a very good player.
And I've gone with Connor Townsend too. I thought you wouldn't go with him. I thought you might go with Callum Robinson, who's a good shout, by the way. But I agree, Dad. He signed from Scunthorpe for like $500,000.
Yeah.
And the guy's come in and he's been serious, like 7 out of 10. Yeah. Puts in a consistent performance in the Premier League. You've got to give this guy respect.
Yes.
Connor Townsend, West Brom fans, do you agree? You could have said your goalie, you could have said some other names, Conor Gallagher maybe, but yeah. There we go.
West Ham United now, and it has to be Angelo Ogbonna.
Wow, we're all agreeing.
Yeah, really. Because over the years, I think this guy has kept West Ham in the division. I think he's that good and that consistent.
I would have gone with Cresswell. He's probably been their best this season, but he's probably rated a bit more. Angelo Ogbonna, pops up with a header time and time again. Big player, strong at the back, absolutely lethal. And like West Ham fans are saying, they'd have leaked so many more goals if that guy wasn't sitting there. So, I think this guy deserves a little bit more respect. Ogbonna. He's clearly learned a few things from Bonucci and them geezers over at Juve, and he's brought it to West Ham and they're smashing it.
Wolverhampton Wanderers now, and I've gone for a water carrier, a guy who always starts in a very good side. He's versatile, defensive midfield. You can put him anywhere. Dendoncker.
I agree.
Really?
We agree. 3 in a row at the end. All the clubs starting with W we agree on. And maybe it is a W, because I think Dendoncker has been seriously underrated this season. And actually what he does is actually helps out the defence. Offers that extra bit of cover. And, he'll never stop running in the game. You've got to give this guy more credit. This is what the video is actually about. When you talk about underrated players, giving credit to central midfielders and just people that run around and don't always get that Tottenham.
Yeah.
That's what we give respect to, and I'm really good. I'm pleased we get to shout this guy out because he's been really good this season. That is the end of the video, guys. Thank you to everybody who's tuned in until the end. It's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, thanks to everyone who voted for this mug in Best in Video. I voted for Stump Peg, but I was outvoted.
Wow. Okay, we're going to move on.
Only joking.
Thank you to everyone that voted for me. We got the dub. We took a lot of votes, but we've done it. And yeah, it's an absolute pleasure to say that we got the dub. And yeah, comment down below. You want some? Oh, you want some? So I just had to deal with it. Please like, we're trying to get 8k likes, and subscribe, we're trying to roll up 432,000 subscribers. We will have Premier League predictions and some other videos on the channel, so get notifications on so you don't miss it. If we got any of these wrong, or you got another suggestion for your club in the Prem, tell us in the comments, because we're just two random geezers. What do we know at the end of the day? Right, take care guys, have a good one, bye.